Films are a series of moving images that captures and makes a movie of a story or event, usually shown either in a cinema or on television. The history of films and its further details will be presented to us in this lecture. Let's all watch this.
Good day, everyone. Today, as we embark on a new learning for the symposium, we will start the day with a quick trivia about the topic that we are going to discuss, which is the film and its elements. So, my dear student, a popular form of mass media, film is a remarkably effective medium for conveying drama and evoking emotion. Did you know that the art of motion pictures are exceedingly complex, requiring contributions from nearly all the other arts, as well as countless technical skills? For example, with this are the following: in sound recording, photography, and of course, the optics. So without further ado, we will start with our main topic today, which is the history of the films, or history of films and its elements. And we will begin with the history of films first. But before that, allow me to introduce myself. I am Justice Ray Larita, your first lecturer on this symposium. Now, film in the Philippines, most Philippines are made in Tagalog. Sex and violence are major themes in these films, which are often adaptations of American, like screen productions, like a popular and readily available, that is high quality Filipino films that have been slow to develop, right? Now, first-run Hollywood films are available on streets as cheap as the pirated DVDs. Now, film in the Philippines, long before the coming of cinema in the Philippines, of course, theater originated in the culture of country's early societies. At the turn of the 19th century, as you can see, the Zarzuela, a traditional Spanish one-act comic opera. During the last decade of the 19th century, in 1896 a Spaniard by the name of Portera prepared to launch his first movie show in Manila at Christmas time. Now, the first film to be shown here in the Philippines was shown during 1897. Over the years, Filipino films have ranged from silent movies to talkies, black and white to color. While in nationwide, did you know that there are more than 1,000 movie theaters? With an early 1980s, it was estimated in Metro Manila alone, there were around 2.5 million moviegoers. Now, in fact, that there is a strong local film production industry in the Philippines. Although very long, or 3 hours, Marilu Abaya, Rizal, which is made in 1998 to coincide with the centennial celebrations of Philippine independence, is well worth watching. We also have Bayan Ko, or My Country. It was made by Lino Broca, arguably the most renowned and accomplished Filipino film director that maybe or he. One of many of films are produced in Filipino language and concentrate on particularly Filipino film genres of comedy, such as the movies of Nora Honor or Yo-Yo Villamin. So the stories also stories of frustrated love and action movies, it kindred to kung fu movies. All right. Now, on our next slide, we will talk about the film censors in the Philippines. Now, my dear students, the Filipino or the Movie and Television Review Classification Board, or the MTRCB screen, which is this one, are the censors film in the Philippines. Some of the decisions have sparked controversy, such as the censorship of sex scenes in 3 Oscar-winning films, including Schindler's List and the Spanish film Belle Epoque. Now, the Philippines President Arroyo was criticized for using her office to ban a sexually explicit movie passed by censors but condemned by the Catholic Church. So this live show here is a film was about people who performed sex acts before audiences. Now, the chief censor quit, and artists, actors, and directors joined human rights and military groups for this to protest the ban as a curb on freedom of expression and defended the film as social commentary on poverty, not a pornographic film. Now, The Last Temptation of Christ by Martin Scorsese was also banned in the Philippines for its blasphemous content, which is the Da Vinci Code, or banned in Manila in 2006. Now, the powerful cardinal sin led the effort to ban the film. It is also film viewers may have been deprived of seeing it at theaters, but they could pick it up on the streets in form of cheap pirated DVDs. Alright, and that's the end of my slides and lecture. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have gained something today. Thank
The early history of Philippine cinema. My name is Carla Mendez, your lecturer for today. Filipinos started making movies in 1919. However, it would be important to know that the film industry in the Philippines began through the initiative of foreign entrepreneurs. Two Swiss entrepreneurs introduced film shows in Manila as early as 1897, regaling audiences with documentary films and clips showing recent events and natural calamities in Europe. Not only that, but the arrival of silent films, along with American colonialism in 1903, created a movie market. The Silent Years. The American cinema in the years 1910 to 1927, the pre-World War I era. Multiple reel films had appeared in the United States as early as 1907 when Adolf Zucker distributed Patty's three-reel passion play. But when Vitagraph produced the five-reel play, The Life of Moses in 1909, the MPPC forced it to be released in a serial fashion at the rate of one reel a week. The multiple reel film, which came to be called the feature in the vaudevillian sense of a headline attraction, achieved general acceptance with the smashing success of the 3 1/2 reel L'Amour de la Reine Elizabeth in 1912, which starred Sarah Bernhardt and was imported by Zukor, who then founded the independent Famous Players Productions Company.
Good day everyone, my name is Edlene Tolling and I am one of your lecturer for today. I am so pleased to be here and to meet all of you. So we will be talking about the pre-World War I era of the European cinema, and please be with me throughout the discussion and I hope you learn something from it today as well. Before World War I, European cinema was dominated by France and Italy. At Pathé Frères, Director General Ferdinand Seca perfected the course comique, a uniquely Gallic version of the chase film, which inspired Max Sennett's Keystone Cops, while the immensely popular Max Linder created a comic persona that would deeply influence the work of Charlie Chaplin. The episodic crime film was pioneered by Victorine Chazet in the Nick Carter series produced for the small Claire Company, but it remained for Gaumond's Louis Foulade to bring the genre to aesthetic perfection in the extremely successful serials Fantomas from 1913 to 14, Lee Vampire 1915 to 1915-16, and Judex 1916. And now let's talk about the European cinema in the post-World War I era. Prior to World War I, American cinema had lagged behind the film industries of Europe, particularly those of France and Italy in such matters as feature production and the establishment of permanent theaters. During the war, however, European film production virtually ceased, in part because the same chemicals used in the production of celluloid were necessary for the manufacture of gunpowder. The American cinema, meanwhile, experienced a period of unprecedented prosperity and growth. By the end of the war, it exercised nearly total control of the international market. When the Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919, 90% of all films screened in Europe, Africa, and Asia were American, and the figure for South America was and remained through the 1950s close to 100%. The main exception was Germany, which has been cut off from American films from 1914 until the World War I ends. And so that's it for our lecture for today. I hope you guys learned something, and it's nice.
Move on to the elements of films and discuss accordingly one by one, starting with acting. I am Miss Irene de la Cruz and I will be your lecturer for today. Now, what is acting? Acting, the performing art in which movement, gesture, and intonation are used to realize a fictional character for the stage, for motion pictures, or for television. Acting is generally agreed to be a matter less of mimicry, exhibitionism, or imitation than of the ability to react to imaginary stimuli. Its essential elements remain the twin requisites enumerated by the French actor François-Joseph Talma in his tribute to the actor Lincoln in 1825, an extreme sensibility and a profound intelligence. For Talma, it is sensibility that allows an actor to mark his face with the emotions of the character he is playing, and to convey the intentions of the playwright, the implications of the text, and the movements of the soul of the character. Intelligence, the understanding of the working of a human personality, is a faculty that orders these impressions for an audience. Throughout the history of theater, debate has continued over the question of whether the actor is a creative artist or simply an interpreter. Since the actor's performance is usually based on the play and the dramatist is conceded to be a creative artist, it is sometimes concluded that the actor must be only an interpretive artist. Some modern exponents of the actor's creativity have indirectly accepted this view and have turned, therefore, to nonverbal theater. Acting is connection. Actors connect to the audience using their tone of voice, body, language, and facial expressions. Acting is communication. Acting is the practice of communicating messages about emotions, ideas, artistic expression, and plot. Through these signs and the process of semiotics, the actor communicates meaning or significance to their audience. Acting is believable. Good actors perform emotional depth with a naturalism and nuance that makes the audience willingly suspend their disbelief and believe in the character and performance. Acting is labor. Whether it's memorizing monologues, practicing lines, transforming their bodies, or changing their voices, the time and energy actors put into the craft is work, and hard work at that. Acting is human. Finally, the desire to perform, tell stories, connect, and communicate with each other is infinitely human and shares a history with humankind. Thank you for listening. This ends my discussion. The end.
Now, moving on to the second list of the elements of film, which is the camera angle. First and foremost, the camera angle is how much space the audience sees in a particular frame. Moreover, it is how you position the camera in the space to take the shot. It can be higher than the subject, lower, diagonal, perpendicular, and so on. Cinematographers choose specific camera shots to portray things about a character, setting, or theme to the audience. Additionally, camera angles are different ways to position a camera to further emphasize emotions and relationships. Overall, it helps tell the story in its own way. A scene may be shot from several camera angles simultaneously. This means that the different camera angles will have different effects on the viewer and how they perceive the scene that is shot. In this portion, we'll cover the basics of camera angles. First, we have the bird's eye view. This type of camera angle is shot from an extremely high position and taken directly from above. It usually frames exotic places and is used as an establishing shot to situate the audience. It contributes to giving people the feeling of being in a superior position than what or who is inside the scene. Second, we have the high angle. This is an angle that looks down at the subject or character and isolates it from the rest of the scenario. It also attributes the subject the characteristic of being weaker and reinforces how fragile, inferior, and submissive it's against another subject. The third one, we have the eye level angle. In this camera angle, the audience is put on an equal footing as a subject, and it demonstrates a relationship of neutrality between the viewers and the subjects inside the scene. It's also the most common camera angle used in movies. This angle offers a comfort feeling of neutrality and naturality. The fourth one, we have the low angle. The low angle is the opposite of the high angle and is used to make the subject inside the scene look powerful, dominant, and superior. This is the camera angle that looks up to the subject and therefore makes it look bigger than it actually is. The last one, you have the oblique or Dutch angle. In this camera angle, the camera is tilted and not parallel to the floor level. It usually gives a feeling of unbalance and instability, disorienting the audience since it's not a natural way to look at things. So every camera angle mentioned serves a unique purpose to better tell the story the creator wants to tell. These angles are used to convey different emotions or perspectives of a scene. Therefore, to filmmakers, by changing the angle at which they shoot a scene, they can alter how audiences perceive characters or events happening on screen. So, every time you record something, a video, a movie, a homemade video, have in mind these useful yet simple techniques to improve your shots. That's a wrap for this discussion. I hope you learned something. This is Alexandra Nadella. Thank you for listening.
This is Jo-Marie Famcy Abragan, and we will be talking about the camera operator. Now, this element of film is somewhat familiar to us. This person is responsible for physically operating the camera and also maintaining composition and camera angles throughout the given scene or shot. When on set, the camera operator will have to communicate with the director, crew, and actors to make creative decisions. Also, the camera operator is part of a film crew consisting of the director of photography and a couple of camera assistants. Now, when it comes to equipment used in operating a camera, as long as it has a high-definition camera with a good lens, however, there is more than meets the eye to being a camera operator. There is a ton of small equipment which a camera operator uses to utilize their job. As an example for that are as follows, which are the tools for maintaining the cameras, film tape, which a camera operator uses, tripods, multiple lenses, and etc. Now, meanwhile, the skills needed are the following: knowledge about how to operate a camera in a professional manner, how to set up an equipment appropriately, ability to select appropriate camera lenses, having patience due to long hours taken to film, also a good sense of composition and provide some creative input to the crew about how to make shots look better, and lastly, good communication skills so you can communicate with other departments and other members of the crew. Now, overall, operators must know exactly what they are doing, as well as to be able to communicate with those they are working with. Also, as mentioned earlier, camera operators have a significant role in the production, since they are assigned the responsibility of filming the product and ensuring that the film is taken care of, means that the whole product relies on them.
Good day, everyone. This is Kuming Wenalin, one of the lecturers. Next, let's move on to the other elements of film, which is the cinematography. According to Britannica, this refers to an art and technology of motion picture photography. It involves such techniques as the general composition of a scene, the lighting of a set or location, the choice of cameras, lenses, filters, and film stacks, the camera angle of movements, and the integration of any special effects. In addition, cinematography is the art of craft, acquiring and capturing visual images for a film or video production. It entails using movement, lighting, composition, and camera angle to produce visually compelling and meaningful visuals that improve a film's mood and storyline. Furthermore, the following are the purposes of cinematography. First, we have visual storytelling. Second, setting the mood and atmosphere. Third, enhancing character development. Fourth, creating visual symbolism. Fifth, establishing a sense of time and place. Sixth, engaging and captivating the audience. Seventh, and lastly, the supporting the overall film's vision. To conclude, cinematography is a versatile instrument used in filmmaking that is not limited to taking pictures. It aids in forming the story, engaging the audience's emotions, and producing an engaging visual experiences. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to my presentation on the use of color in cinema to set the tone of scenes. Color is a powerful tool that filmmakers use to convey emotions, themes, and atmosphere, even before any dialogue is spoken. Color in the history of films refers to the evolution and use of color techniques in filmmaking. Here's an overview of its significance. In early experiments in the late 19th century, filmmakers began experimenting with adding color to films. Techniques like hand-painting frames or tinting entire scenes were used to create semblance of color. Next, technological advancement. The breakthrough came with the development of color processes like Technicolor in the 1930s. Technicolor revolutionized color cinematography, allowing filmmakers to center and produce vibrant-like colors on screen. Next, the golden age of color. The introduction of Technicolor marked a golden age of color filmmaking. Iconic films like The Wizard of Oz for 1939 and The Gone with the Wind 1939 showcase the magic color in storytelling. Next, expanding options. Over the decades, new color processes emerged, such as Color and Kodachrome, offering filmmakers a range of options to explore color aesthetics and cinematography. Digital revolution. The transition to digital cinema in the late 20th century further expanded the possibilities of color manipulation and enhancement. Filmmakers gained unprecedented control over color grading, allowing for precise adjustments and creative expression. Next, creative expression. Color became an integral part of cinematic language, used to evoke emotions, establish atmosphere, and convey narrative themes. So, filmmakers strategically employ color palettes to set the tone of scenes and enhance visual storytelling. Lastly, modern techniques. Today, advancement in digital imaging, high dynamic range or the HDR, and color grading techniques continue to push the boundaries of color in films. Filmmakers have a vast array of tools and technologies at their disposal to create immersive and visually striking cinematic experiences. Overall, the history of color in films reflects both technological progress and artistic innovation, shaping the way stories are told and experienced on the silver screen. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the next element of film, which is the compositions. The composition in a film goes beyond just where things are placed in the frame. It's about using elements to create a specific effects and tell the story in a compelling way. So in compositions, we have six aspects of compositions. We have the first one, the framing. It refers to what the camera captures within the boundaries of the shots. Techniques like a close-up emphasize emotions, while wide shots establish a setting or create a sense of isolations. And also we have balance. Composition creates a sense of order and stability, and this can be achieved by symmetrical arrangement or by using contrasting element to create a visual tension. Depth is the third composition and aspect of compositions, it creates a depth within the frame, making it feel more three-dimensional. Techniques like leading lines, like it's using line in the scene to draw the viewer's eye, and foreground background relationship contribute to depth. And lighting is a fourth aspect of compositions. It plays a huge role in composition, and high-key lighting creates a bright and cheerful mood, while low-key lighting evokes mystery or suspense. Also, light can all be used to highlight specific elements or draw the attention to a certain part of the frame. We have the fifth one, the movement. Composition is a static camera movement, and it can be used to create a sense of dynamism and energy. It's like panning shots or tracking shots, and tracking shots or can immerse the viewers in the sense or follow a character in movement. A negative space is the last aspect of compositions. A negative space within the frame is also important. Using negative space effectively can draw attention to your subject or emphasize of isolations. So additionally, always remember that composition isn't all about following rigid rules. It's about using this element creatively to achieve a desired effect. A well-composed shot can draw attention, can elevate a film scene from merely informative to visually striking and emotionally engaging. So I guess that's all my part. Thank you.
Welcome to our presentation on the art film editing. Today, we delve into the heart of cinema, exploring the intricate craft that brings stories to life through visual storytelling. First, let's have the introduction of film editing. As we all know, film editing is the process of selecting and manipulating various shots to create a coherent and compelling narrative. Film editing involves the assembly of individual shots into a sequence that conveys meaning, emotion, and story progression. Moreover, here are the following importance of film editing. First, we have narrative structure. So editing shapes the narrative structure by determining the order and durations of scenes, allowing filmmakers to control the flow of information and build tension. Second, we have the emotional impact. So it influences the emotional response of the audience through the arrangement of shots, pacing, and rhythm, exciting suspense, excitement, and empathy. Third, we have visual cohesion. Film editing ensures visual coherence by maintaining continuity between shots, creating a seamless flow of action, and enhancing visual storytelling. Fourth, we have the creative expression. Editors have the power to manipulate time, space, and perspective, offering opportunities to artistic experimentation and expression. Then lastly, we have the audience engagement. Well-edited films captivate and engage audiences, keeping them invested in the story and characters from beginning to end. On the other hand, the following are the parts of film editing. We have number one, assembly editing. Second, we have the structural editing. Third, we have the visual effects editing. Fourth, we have the sound editing. Fifth, we have the color grading. In conclusion, by understanding its definition, importance, and key components, filmmakers can have the power of editing to create memorable and cinematic experiences. Once again, thank you for joining us on this journey through the art of film editing. We hope you've gained a deeper appreciation to the craftsmanship behind the scenes that brings the magic of cinema to life. Until next time, happy editing!
To continue, another element of film is lighting. Normally, we tend to think that lighting is simply putting up just light, such as ring lights and other materials that produces light in order to brighten up the set or so that actors and actresses playing can be seen. But lighting isn't just about brightening up a set. It is far more than that. So what is lighting? In filmmaking, lighting is one of the crucial elements that brings the film to life. It refers to the direction, quality, source, or color of light. In fact, there are a lot of film lighting techniques that can be used either way in making a film, and the following are just the most well-known lighting techniques such as the backlight, tail light, key lighting, side lighting. So the following are just the setups. The hard light setup, soft light setup, and more are the bounce lighting, high key lighting, low key lighting, motivated lighting, and ambient lighting. Other than that, lighting has the ability to talk. The contrast of the shadows can enhance your tale and give the movie a more eerie or spooky feel. Alternatively, your light's color and muted tone can create an overall romantic glance. In either case, you can use humor heavily in the story of your films. And that would be all for this element. I really hope you learned something from it. This has been Vina Villasencio. Adios, amigas y amigos.
Hello, good day. I am Mary Grace Enriquez and here to discuss with you all about the mise-en-scene. To discuss the meaning of mise-en-scene, this describes everything in front of the camera, such as the performers, lighting, and set design, and how these components affect how a play or movie is presented overall. It includes setting up the stage and scenario in a way that establishes the setting for a story or action. To put it simply, mise-en-scene is a process of arranging the visual components and creating the scene in order to effectively communicate a story. In fact, mise-en-scene is like the visual language of a film, whereas it includes, first, the set design and props, where the physical world that characters inhabit, lighting, how the scene is illuminated, creating mood and atmosphere, and we have the costume design, what the characters wear, reflecting their personalities and social status. 4 is we have the framing and camera angles, how the shoot is composed, influences how the audience perceives the scene, and blocking, the positioning of actors and objects within the frame. Blocking is a collaborative process, often involving the director, actors, and cinematographer working together to achieve the desired effect. That will be all about the topic mise-en-scene, and thank you for listening.
So good day everyone, I'm Christine Mayroman with my assigned topic, which is narrative. So we all know that narrative is a spoken or written account of connected events. Before we dig deeper, let us know what is the narrative in a film. A narrative in a film is a film that tells a cohesive, often fictional story with cause and effect events through filmmaking techniques. Narrative films entail two components, the story itself and the process of telling the story of narrative. Narrative techniques like flashbacks, foreshadowing, and non-linear storytelling can enhance the viewer's engagement and understanding of the film's message. Narrative in a film is like the blueprint of the story, guiding the audience through the filmmaker's intended journey. So if we dig deeper, narratives are consist of plot, characters, settings, and themes of the story. Narrative structure, on the other hand, it is which the story is organized. Narrative perspectives is the point of view from which the story is being told. While the narrative arc, it is well-crafted narratives that ensures the story has a clear beginning, middle, and end. So I think that would be all for my part. Thank you so much for
Moving on to the fascinating world of storytelling and exploring the concept of plot. The plot is like the backbone of any narrative, guiding us through the series of events from start to finish, much like a roadmap guiding us on a journey. For this purpose, we will discuss the two main types of plot structures, the Aristotelian plot and the Freytag's pyramid. Firstly, let's talk about the Aristotelian plot. Named after the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, this plot structure is quite straightforward, much like the traditional three-act play. It consists of three key parts: the introduction, the middle or body, and the end. The introduction. This is where the stage is set, and the main characters, setting, and the initial conflicts are introduced. Think of it as laying the groundwork for the story to come. The middle or body. Here's where the action unfolds and the story develops. We see characters facing challenges, making choices, and navigating through various obstacles. This part is often the longest and most intricate, drawing us deeper into the narrative. The end. Finally, we reach the resolution, where loose ends are tied up and the story reaches its conclusion. Questions are answered, conflicts are resolved, and characters often experience some form of transformation or growth. Secondly, let's shift our focus to Freytag's pyramid. Named after the German novelist Gustav Freytag, this structure offers a more detailed breakdown of the plot, emphasizing the rising and falling action leading to a climax. The exposition or introduction. Similar to the Aristotelian introduction, this is where we are introduced to the characters, setting, and initial conflict. We get a sense of the world we are entering and the stakes involved. The rising action. Here, tension begins to build as the central conflict intensifies. Characters face increasing challenges, and the plot thickens as we move towards the climax. This is often the most engaging part of the story, where the audience is on the edge of their seats. The climax, the pinnacle of the story where tensions reach their peak. This is the moment of highest drama, where the central conflict comes to a head and the fate of the characters hangs in the balance. The falling action. Afterwards, we begin to see the resolution of the story start to unfold. Loose ends are tied up, and we start to see the aftermath of the climax as the story winds down. The resolution. Finally, we reach the conclusion, where the story's final outcome is revealed. Characters may find closure, and we get a sense of the lasting impact of the events that transpired. To conclude, whether you're crafting a gripping novel, writing a screenplay, or simply analyzing your favorite movie, understanding these plot structures can help you appreciate the intricacies of storytelling. In like manner, it's not just about what happens in a story, but also about the journey and the connections between events.
So now, let's shift our focus to another crucial element of the filmmaking process, the producer. A film producer is essentially the mastermind behind the scenes, either employed by the production company or working independently. Producers plan and coordinate various aspects of the film productions, such as selecting the script, coordinating, writing, editing, and arranging financing. and overseeing various aspects of the film productions to ensure everything comes together smoothly. To begin with, producers are tasked with finding and selecting promising material for development, unless the film is based on an existing script. The producers hire a screenwriter and oversees the script's development. These activities culminate with a speech led by the producer to secure the financing backing that enables production to begin. If all succeeds, the project is called greenlit. So now let's take a closer look for different types of producers you might encounter in the industry. Accordingly, the types of producers are the following. So we have here 9 different types of producers. So the first one is executive producer. They are usually in charge of managing the film's finances and all other business aspects. On a television series, an executive producer is often the writer and given credit for creative capacity. In a feature film or movie, the executive producer is often the person directing, handling the project, or directly responsible for bringing in investors for funding. Line producer. A line producer manages the staff and the day-to-day operations and oversees each physical aspects involved in making film or television program. Supervising producer. They can also fulfill the creative producer's role of overseeing other producers. The producer. They are typically involved in every stage of the overall production process. Co-producer. A co-producer is a member of a team of producers that perform all of the functions and roles that a single producer would be given in a project. Coordinating producer or production producer. A coordinating producer coordinates the entire work or role of a multiple producers trying to achieve a shared result. Associate producer or assistant producer. They can sometimes be involved in coordinating other staff such as creating people's schedules and hiring the main talent. Segment producer. A segment producer produces one or more specific segments of multi-segment film or television production. Lastly, film producer. A film producer helps the producer by overseeing all the production outside the studio in a specific film locations. To wrap up, the film producers are the unsung heroes of the movie industry, responsible for bringing stories to life on the big screen. With their expertise, they turn creative ideas into reality, captivating audiences around the world. So, whether you're aiming for the top or eager to contribute behind the scenes, recognizing the vital role of producers is essential for anyone looking for and to make sure their mark is in the cinematic world. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Melanie Brillo and today I'm going to discuss sound in filmmaking. So what is sound in filmmaking? Sound in a movie includes music, dialogue, sound effects, ambient noise, and or background noise and soundtracks. Some sort of sound is always used to enhance the movie experience. So there are several ways in which music and sounds used in contemporary theater. While sounds and music are increasingly being used to create mood, lighting has always been a key component to theatrical performances. Technology can be used to create sound effects and soundscapes. Through the use of sound, during performance, actors' bodies can also create powerful sound effects. Sound effects can be produced with little prop and used live during a performance. Dramatic sound and can even include the lack of sound. So in filmmaking, sound serves multiple purposes and can be categorized in various types. First is we have the dialogue. Dialogue is spoken lines by actors conveying the story, characters, interactions, and plot development. Next up, we have the sound effects. These are the artificial or recorded sounds added to enhance the visual experience or to create a specific ambience. They can include footsteps, door creaks, gunshots, and environmental sounds like rain or wind. Next up, we have the music. So originally scores or pre-existing music tracks are used to underscore scenes, extreme emotions, and emphasize key moments in the narrative. Next is we have the ambient sounds. So these are the background noises that contribute to the settings and atmosphere of the scene, such as traffic noise in the cityscapes or birds chirping in the forest. Next is the Foley sounds. These are the sounds created and recorded specifically for the film or theater production, often synchronized with an on-screen actions. Foley artists will create sounds like footsteps, cloth ruffling, or object handling to add realism to the audio experience. Next is the silence. The absence of sound can also be a deliberate choice in filmmaking and theater, used to create tension, emphasize a moment, or convey a character's emotional state. And that's all for my report. So to sum up, this is the key component of filmmaking that improves storytelling in a variety of ways and improves the cinematic experience. Every element of film's audio mix, from clean dialogue and fascinating sound effects to moving music and background noise, adds to overall impression. In the end, the director's cinematic vision cannot be fully realized without the skillful use of sound in filmmaking to create atmosphere, produce strong feelings, and draw audience in. Thank you.
That was indeed a very interesting information. Now let's delve into the fascinating world of sound design. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is sound design? Sound design involves creating or selecting sounds to enhance storytelling, evoke emotion, and immerse the audience in the audio world of a film, game, or other media. It's about more than just adding background noise. It's about crafting a sonic experience that complements the visuals and helps drive the narrative forward. What are some key elements of effective sound design? Attention to detail is crucial. It's about finding the right balance between realism and artistic expression. Sound designers often manipulate and layer sounds to create something unique that serves the story. Also, understanding the psychology of sound is essential. Certain frequencies, rhythms, and textures can elicit specific emotional responses from the audience. Example of how sound design can enhance the scene. Imagine a scene where a character is walking through a bustling city street. By adding layers of traffic noise, pedestrians chatting, and distant sirens, you can transport the audience into the heart of the city, even if they are just watching on the screen. And don't forget about sound effects like footsteps or the rustling of clothing. These subtle details can make the scene feel more immersive and realistic. How has technology influenced the field of sound design? Technology has revolutionized sound design, giving us access to a vast library of sounds and sophisticated tools for editing and mixing. From poly artists using everyday objects to create sound effects to composers using virtual instruments to score films, technology has opened up endless possibilities for creativity. It also made collaboration easier than ever. With cloud-based platforms and remote workflow tools, sound designers can work with filmmakers and other creatives from anywhere in the world. Fascinating, isn't it? But before we wrap up, just an advice for aspiring sound designers. Experimentation is key. Don't be afraid to think outside the box and try new techniques. And always trust your ears. Networking is also crucial. Build relationships with fellow sound designers, filmmakers, and anyone else in the industry. You never know where your next opportunity might come from. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you. Until next time. Keep listening.
And now, the last but not the least element of film, the video editing. It is the art of manipulating and combining video files to create a completed video project. Video editors will cut together film clips, alter and correct sound mixing, add digital effects, and make other essential technical changes to video files. So what can you do with video editing? Video editing lets creatives make both subtle and significant alterations to video files. They can make minor but meaningful edits to combine multiple clips, alter audio volume, speed up and slow down footage, or correct color and lighting. They can also make significant changes, such as altering backgrounds using a green screen and chroma key software, adding in special effects or music, or removing background obstructions. These kinds of edits will come together to help creatives produce professional quality videos, and learning these skills will open the door to a high-paying and in-demand career field. Learning video editing skills is also useful for creatives hoping to break into the world of content creation themselves. Rather than editing videos for other people, you'll be able to create and edit your own content, giving your online presence a professional quality that can set your work apart from the competition. Video editing careers. Video editing skills are utilized across every industry that produces or utilizes videos to communicate and persuade. Beyond the television and film industries, internet content creation companies, traditional and digital advertising agencies, government agencies and political campaigns, activist organizations and non-profits, and even training firms and other large corporations regularly employ individuals with video editing training. So here are just a few current jobs available for you to explore. You have used video editors, video managers, motion graphic designer, videographer, animator, film editor, video content creator, and multimedia designer. All things considered, those students who are interested in the behind-the-scenes aspects of film and video production may wish to learn video editing. Video editing is an incredibly important aspect of filmmaking. Anyone who wants to work in the film, television, or online content creation industry should consider learning how to edit videos. And that is it for our class.
Ladies and gentlemen, as our motion of the history of films and its elements comes to a close, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you for joining us tonight. It has been an enlightening journey exploring the rich tapestry of cinema's class and the intricate elements that have shaped that into the vibrant art that we cherish today. To our esteemed speakers, your insights have been invaluable, offering us new perspectives and deepening our appreciation for magic of cinema. Your passion and expertise have truly made this event unforgettable. I also want to express my gratitude to all students who have taken the time to attend and engage in thoughtful discussions. Your curiosity and enthusiasm are what make events like this so rewarding. Lastly, a special thank you to the organizers and staff who worked tirelessly. Lastly, a special thank you to the organizers and staff who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this symposium possible. Your dedication and hard work have not gone unnoticed. As we depart tonight, let us carry forward the spirit of inquiry and discovery that has filled this room. May we continue to explore the history of films and its elements with the same fervor and excitement, knowing that there are always new stories waiting to be told. Thank you once again for being part of this incredible journey. Good night, and may your love for cinema continue to inspire and enrich your lives. This is Ms. Stephanie Santolian. Until next time.
Thank you, Group 1 from BSTM 3-1.